Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Infinite Series Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure Collection Spider-Girl. Looking at the packaging back and other action figures in this wave are Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, which I've already reviewed, so check out that video if you haven't already, Spider-Man 2099, and Spider-Girl's fellow warriors of the Webb, Ultimate Spider-Woman, and rounding out the wave and joining Spider-Man in the fight to keep New York City streets free from crime, it's Daredevil. This Spider-Girl is Mayday Parker, the daughter of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson from an alternate future universe. If you've never heard of her, that may sound like jumping the shark, yet she has quite the cult following and in fact has been subject of the longest running superhero book with a lead female character ever published by Marvel. And that run was owed not really to the sales of the comic itself but more to her active fan base, which motivated itself to cause Marvel to revoke several cancellation announcements. A large part of the character's popularity is credited to a nostalgic writing style that harks back to the late 80s and further still to the Silver Age of comics. Mayday's costume is modified from Ben Reilly's costume. Feelings about the Clone Saga aside, I really like the Ben Reilly costume design. It doesn't reinvent the wheel that is the classic Spidey costume, but certainly refreshes it. The pattern of the costume is entirely deco, and it's a bit hit and miss. On my example here, the application is a hit on the torso, with it being nicely crisp, but on the shoulders it's more of a miss with some smudgy mess. So if you're buying in person, confronted with more than one version, you may want to take a minute to compare and contrast for the best applied one. With the character design, the head sculpt is simple. Sometimes I think Spider-Man's head can just look like a balloon, but to resist that here, the eyes have been sculpted with the edge of them inset into the sculpt, and you can make out the shape of her nose, giving the impression of an actual face under the mask and not just a bulbous shape lacking definition. Of course, Mayday Parker represents the second Spider-Girl we have had in Legends, joining Anya, the current Spider-Girl of main Marvel continuity. And both being teenage girls, Mayday reuses the same body, which we've also seen with the Jubilee Build-A-Figure from the Toys R Us exclusive X-Men Infinite series, and being reused in the same very wave as Mayday with Ultimate Spider-Woman. Stay tuned for a review of her. Its diminutive proportions are best observed sandwiched in between the Fearsome Foes box set Spidey, which I customised with a McFarlane inspired head, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spidey from the Ultimate Green Goblin wave. And dwarfing them all is Anti-Venom, who is also from the Hobgoblin wave like Mayday. The obvious difference of head sculpt and deco aside, Hasbro didn't get entirely lazy, as they have given Mayday new hands sculpted in the traditional web slinging pose. Yet as they already have them, would it have broken the bank for Hasbro to include a redecoed set of Anya's style of hands to interchange them with? Oh, and the web shooters are separate pieces that if you heat and pop the hands could be removed. Now looking at articulation, their head rotates around. It's also able to look down this much and up this far. At the shoulder, her arm rotates and it's able to move up this far. At her elbow there's rotation, and this also has a single hinge which moves to a 90-degree angle almost to her upper arm. At her wrist there's rotation, and this is also hinge moving down and up. In lieu of waist rotation, she has a rotating diaphragm joint, and while the diaphragm joint barely moves forward, it is able to move back a little bit. At the hips, her legs move out to the side this much and moves forward this much, but doesn't really move back. Upper leg rotation, then a double jointed knee, rotation lower leg, and at the ankle it's hinged, moving backwards and forwards, and it has that crazy ankle rocker pivot, which we love. The articulation is certainly functional, and all things considered, I'd recommend her. A release is certainly good timing on Hasbro's part, with Mayday featuring in the current Spider-Verse storyline in the Spider-Man comic book. Anyway, click the video on the right for a closer look at Anti-Venom. As ever, I sure would appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.